You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Hi everyone, welcome. So we do this show live, right? I've decided that instead of recording interviews, I want to do them live, and our guest today isn't here yet. And even though I talked to him yesterday, and he's not here. So we'll see what happens. We do have Lynne Bowman also, who has been recorded, and then maybe we'll roll her in first and hope that AJ shows up. AJ, if you're watching this and you're looking for how to join, go check your calendar invite or go check PodMatch. The link is there, and come join us. All right. Thank you so much for 194,000 views and downloads of the show. Every day is just a joy to see how many people are having fun watching this show, and I can't thank you enough for tuning in every day. And let's see, what does Stacy have? Who doesn't love the combination? Yeah, I know, exactly. It's going to be a good show, so I hope AJ gets on here. But yeah, so now's the perfect time. If you're watching, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, just share the show right now. Press that share button and get us to my goal of 200,000 views by February 1st. We've got a few more days to do it, and I think we can do it with your help. Okay. Let's see. So last night we got invited to go to a psychic by some friends. So we go to this, I have to tell you the story. So we go to the psychic, and who has gone? Raise your hands out here in the audience if you've been to see a psychic. And so we go, it's at a distillery. We get invited, we go, there's a group of 4 of us, and she's splitting everybody up into groups of 7 and taking them back into this room. And I, of course, get separated from my pack. The 3 of them go with 4 other people, and I'm sitting there. And these things are they're like an hour-long reading in a group setting. And so, of course, I'm getting nervous because I think, well, maybe there is a reason why I got separated, and she doesn't want me to hear the bad news in front of my friends. And what is she going to tell me? Like, what's happening? So then there were 3 groups. So group 1 was done with my friends, and then they come out, and then they are calling people for group 2, and she's doing this all spiritually and you know. And the thing about it is that I am 100%, I'm there because I believe in it and I love it. And then there's that weird part of me that's like, I don't believe it. Like, how can this be happening? So group 2, she's calling group 2, and I'm not in group 2 either. And also, note that this is past my bedtime, so I'm already tired because it's like 7 o'clock because I go to bed at 7:30. But that's a different story. And so group 2 goes, and now it's 8 o'clock, and now I'm finally in the last group. And and so I get brought in, and it's me, and it's 4 women. And so she starts there are all these things. You have to pick numbers, you have to do the things, and she's flipping cards. And she gets to me for one of the things, and she's reading my rose petals, and she says, "Is your father's mother dead?" And I said, "No, I don't think she is." She's not. And does her name start with an M? And I said, no. Does his sister start with an M? And she's going, I was like, no. Was someone on your father's side You have lots of angels around you, and there's someone on your father's side that is watching over you that starts with an M. So, first of all, my dad watches this show, and he might be watching live. So, Dad, if you're watching, I don't know if he has figured out the comments yet. If you're watching, is there someone on your side, a female, letter M? Put it in the comments. Otherwise, call during the show and I'll pick up and tell me if you know the M. If you don't know, don't call to tell me you don't know, because I'm not answering that. So now I have to know. And then she also said, I should have put these up here. So these are the cards she gave me. There were many cards and I had to take notes, and it was a whole thing. But my tarot cards, or my card, I don't know, she had 16 different cards. So I got a parrot. Someone will gossip about all your secrets. And she said it's a male energy. What does that mean? What's the other one? A pail. Time to get out of a situation, which, if Stacy's still watching this, the situation we were talking about yesterday, it's time to get out. And then a needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted. And then my other, I'll put these up on Instagram. My other one was abundance. Lucky times are ahead of you, along with good news, success, and prosperity. I'll take that. And then she had a fortune cookie. Happiness isn't in having what you want, but rather in wanting what you have. And then, because the cards were flowing, I also got another one that said positive work outcomes. Consistent efforts will bring rewards, and a major purchase is worth making. So I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds like she said June is going to be a good month for me. And something good is going to happen by February 19th. So I'm going to mark that down. And on February 19th, we'll be discussing here on this program what that was. And then she was also saying, and she was very spot on with other people, which was crazy to me. Like, it was so fun to watch other people. And she would know different deaths. She would know, like, and then she got to me and I was like, I don't know anything you're talking about. Of course. But it might all make sense, right? Like, just because it didn't make sense in the moment, maybe my dad will call me and say, yeah, it's this person. Her name's Miriam. I don't know. It was a very interesting experience. And then she also said that if you are seeing a psychic every week, it's a bad psychic. You should not be seeing a psychic every week. They're just taking your money. And then she said, if you all give me a tip, you can pick out a crystal or whatever, a rock, I forgot what this is called, from the thing, and I will bless it. So of course I tipped her, and little thing that I had to sleep with under my pillow. Here it is, right here. It's very beautiful. I actually have a collection. See, this is the thing about me, is I have an entire collection of things like this right over there, and I'm totally into it. And I bathe them because you're supposed to put them in the sun, and I'm here for it. So we'll see what happens, everyone. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a good year, she said. And that's really all that matters to me. Tonight, I get to meet some people from the Chesapeake Podcast Network. There's a networking meeting tonight for those who are in the Chesapeake Podcasting Network. It took over a year. Stacy's saying it took over a year when she found out about one of her, I don't know. See, this is, she said you're going to start seeing parrots. That's what she said. And there's also a parrot in the corner of this studio. So I don't know what any of this means. Maybe I should have had her on the show to explain all of this to me. I'll ask her. Maybe she'll come on February 19th. Okay. Anyway. Rich Bennett is really what I wanted to say. Thank you, Rich Bennett, for putting together the Chesapeake Podcast Network that we are now a part of. And I get to go meet some of the other podcast hosts tonight, which is very, very exciting. Okay, let's see. I think that's it. I will tell you about, because I'm way behind. I'll tell you about Glitter and Greed. Who has seen this Lisa Frank documentary? Who? I think it's on Amazon Prime. If you have seen it, let's chat. Anybody from my generation, into the Trapper Keepers, the stickers, the pens, all of it. What a world she created. Okay, that's it. Let's get on with the show. AJ is not here yet. And so we're going to jump right into Lynne Bowman's interview, who is the most fantastic, beautiful woman you will ever meet. And she has a great book called Brownies for Breakfast. And you know what? She is so nice that she is, wait, let me do this. She is giving everyone in the studio audience a copy. Brownies for breakfast. And so let's chat with her and figure out how we can have brownies for breakfast. Please welcome Lynne Bowman. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. And is it okay if I also go with snarky grandma or potty mouth grandma?
Yes, yes, yes.
Depending on where we want to go with this, I'm all
I mean, I'm open to anything. I will change whatever you need me to change. I love it. We can, and maybe you'll have a new name by the end of this interview.
great idea. Yeah, because life is short, and you
Yes.
can't just be sticking with the stuff that's not that fun that maybe doesn't work. Yeah.
No. Well, let's go back to Glam Grandma for a minute, just a minute. Is that self-appointed or how did we get that name?
Kind of both. I was accused of it and I liked it.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Have you always been like, I love your outfit, what I can see, your everything about you. Have you always been kind of a glamorous person?
that's a very kind way of putting it. I am extremely vain and always have been. So, accessorizing was one of my superpowers.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But also, Richard, I'm old. I'm really old, um, which I'm proud to say. And back in the day, we ladies had to put it on. I mean, if you were going to go anywhere and do anything and be anybody, you you had to have it together in terms of how you presented to the world.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, and my first job, big job, full-time job in advertising was in 1966. So let that sink in for a minute. Um, it was such a different world, it was
Yeah.
so different. So the whole idea of what you wore and how you spoke and how you moved and how your hair, all of it
Mhm.
was that was your equipment. That was your um, you know, uh,
Yeah.
you had to do that.
So how often, if we just showed up at your house, would you be in sweatpants?
Oh, honey, I don't own sweatpants.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't tell you that I'm wearing sweatpants under this desk, then.
No, that's fine. But I do have some yoga pants that
Okay,
are
I'll take those.
fairly hot but comfortable.
Mhm.
No, right now, I don't know if you want to see it or not, but these are
Of
jeans
course.
I have, and you can't see it. I'm wearing blue jeans.
I
Um,
mean, you look fantastic.
well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But
And
we're also not here to
mine was
just
just
like,
a gift from a friend, and I
yeah.
love, that we're doing this now. We're exchanging clothes. We're not just buying
Yeah.
new. Yeah, we're looking in
That's
our
the fun
closet,
part.
pulling out the old stuff, and yeah.
I literally just had someone on talking about sustainable fashion and swapping clothes with your friends. So perfect. Maybe so this is how the world works.
It's a huge thing, and my daughters are also doing this with their friends with the kids stuff.
Mhm.
We're exchanging, we're not just going out and buying new little onesies for little babies. We're passing them along and exchanging them. And we didn't I first of all, when I was having my kids, it was very lonely. We didn't have these groups of women. I couldn't even tell anybody I had kids because
Mhm.
they assumed that I was not a serious professional woman.
Wow.
One didn't have kids.
No, you couldn't do two things at once.
No, they just sort of appeared magically. Um,
Yes, of course.
yeah.
Well, I know one thing. If I had your cookbook, I would not be giving it to anybody. You have a fantastic cookbook, which is the reason I wanted you on here because it's right there, of course. It's called Brownies for Breakfast, which, I mean, come on. Perfect title. It's a beautiful book and it's also plant-based, which as a plant-based vegan person, I appreciate.
I do want to point out that plant-based and vegan are not the same
Two
thing,
different
because
things. Yes.
people typically assume that I'm vegan. I have experimented with it. I have been vegan curious, and I was vegan for a good period, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. I have no more memory, of course, because I'm too old. So it might have been 6 months or a year. And my numbers improved dramatically. I mean, what I saw in my experiment was sensational. And I know I've talked about it before in my writings about going to the Plantricians Conference with all these docs from all over the world who were talking about plant-based eating, and it was a mind bender for me, because as a diabetic, we had always been told, that it's about meat and
Mhm.
tons of protein and more meat and meat. Um, so it's been an interesting trip, and where I am now is where I think a lot of people will wind up, and that is I eat some meat,
Mhm.
not too much, but I make sure that if I eat eggs, it's from college-educated, emotionally well-adjusted hens, and they're
Correct. Yes, of course.
and I live in this wonderful place that is kind of an epicenter for regenerative agriculture. So I have access to wonderful meat that I drive by them on my way into town. It's like, hi girls, the little steers, and so they're just darling. It gets harder to eat them when you know their names.
Yes. Yes. Don't name them, otherwise it gets tricky.
Yeah.
It's true. Tell everybody about some of the recipes that are in this cookbook, because just the pictures alone, I'm drooling.
Thank you. Did I send you one, Richard, or did you?
No, but I've been stalking you
Oh my
online, so
God,
that's how I know. Yeah.
stalk me. I'm so
Mhm.
flattered. Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, that's great. It is all about easy, inexpensive, accessible plant-based eating that you can do today
Mhm.
with what you have largely in your fridge. I'm always all about open it up and see what you got. Eat that,
Yeah.
eat it up. And so there's tips and tricks. There's 2 ingredient recipes, 3 ingredient recipes. The intention was that this isn't stuff to necessarily go crazy on one afternoon. This is the stuff I want you eating every day. And I want you serving your family and your friends this food. So it's the soup that you make on Sunday that's fabulous, and then you change it on Monday, and you change it again on Tuesday, and you change it again on Wednesday, just like your outfit. Just here,
Mhm.
new jacket, now new outfit, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's
Um,
how you cook.
as well, I'm an awful cook. That's why I'm always inspired by people. I don't like cooking. I think it's too much. Usually it's too much. I get scared that I'm gonna burn. I've started water on fire before. It's not cute, Lynn. Um,
And you're
but
gonna cooking from my book.
exactly. How long have you been cooking? All your life? You loved
All my
cooking?
life. My and one of the things that's really driven me, Richard, is that my mother had a chronic disease. So I was taking care of her a great deal of the time, more than she was taking care of me. She died when I was 18. So my teenage years were different. I didn't know that. I mean, that was my normal.
Right.
But I went into the world with a different attitude about food and cooking. And then I found out that I had gestational diabetes, and which is a long conversation, but I knew that I would become type 2 diabetic most likely. And there was no one out there with any good information. So, and I didn't want to die. I wanted to live, and wear wonderful things and have fun. Um, so I figured out how to do it, and I did lots of research. But back in the 70s, I mean, there was Adele Davis and a couple of other people writing about this stuff, but nobody cared.
Mhm.
I mean, you've all heard by now that in medical school, nobody even talks about food.
Yeah.
What? Food? Nobody cares. Nobody talks about sleep either. which is so interesting. And this is
Yeah.
beginning to change. But so all along, I had to think about healthy, cheap, because I was working, then I had a bunch of kids, and then I had to leave a terrible marriage, and all the things that we go through.
Mhm.
But the consistent part of it was I was cooking and I was eating well, and my kids ate well. And then when it got to the point where I had professional friends that I would have to entertain, they sat down in my kitchen with my kids and me and ate what I cooked, which I recommend.
Yeah. Yeah.
N- Nothing wrong with that at all. But also, it was cheap because kids, life, I couldn't afford much more than that. And I knew at a fairly early point that the food that I was getting at the fast food places was crap.
Yeah.
Uh, so, combination of all those things, I liked to eat. I like to eat well. I like to entertain. It ended up being some cookbooks.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Like if you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna make tonight, so I'm just like an easy go-to for you.
They're all easy go-tos for me because
Mhm.
I don't really love to cook. I love
Mm.
to eat,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I love to have a positive bank account.
Mhm.
These are the things I love. And I don't love for my kitchen to be a frigging mess, frankly.
Yeah.
Little OCD in that department, like my house to stay clean. And you realize when you cook a big meat thing, it's not only a project to cook the big meat thing, but then cleaning it up and
Clean
then
it
having
up.
it in the fridge and so go-to stuff in the fridge. Well, first of all, I always have really wonderful bread, which sounds funny,
Mm.
like diet? You're what? No, I buy my bread at Companion Bakery in Santa Cruz. It's made from local wheat, not the crappy wheat that, you
Uh-huh.
know, Wonder Bread kind of wheat. This is really lovely. I don't know the first name of every kernel, but this is good stuff. And it's sourdough, which has extra benefits for you. My favorite is a walnut sourdough loaf,
Oh, yummy.
or a 3 seed loaf. So if you've
Mm.
got that great piece of bread, then you've got some sliced goat cheese, which I always have in the fridge. Do you have goat cheese in your fridge?
I'm vegan, so no, but
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
Uh, okay. Maybe you'll go over
other
the edge
people can.
to vegetarian at some point, and because, as you know, the protein in goat cheese is different than the protein in
Mhm.
cow cheese. So a lot of people who don't eat cow-based dairy do fine with goat cheese. So I will have I call it a kimchi sandwich because
Ooh,
it's
kimchi.
grilled in my toaster oven. The cheese is melted on the beautiful bread, and then in the middle goes some kimchi, which I've squished a little bit to take
Yum.
some of the liquid out of, fill the whole thing, slap it together, glued together with the goat cheese. So it is a cheese sandwich. Fabulous. Highly recommend.
Delish.
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds amazing.
so good.
Um, it sounds like, oh, yes, now my mouth is watering. Um,
It's a recipe, right? That's it. You don't have to
yeah,
measure anything, nothing. Do you have a toaster oven? Okay, you
yeah,
don't? Okay,
yeah.
put it on top of the stove. That's how I like to cook, is what do you got?
Mhm.
Okay.
Can you
Mhm.
actually have brownies for breakfast? Is my question, real question.
Oh, honey, absolutely. And they're vegan if you make them. Okay, so the basic ingredients are, you ready? Pumpkin, right out of the can,
Okay.
plain old pumpkin with nothing else in it, pumpkin puree, nut butter, and you can use cashew butter or almond butter, whatever you got. You can use peanut butter. It's not my favorite because it has more flavor. The almond
Mhm.
butter and the cashew butter let the chocolate come forward a little more. So
Mm.
that, and then powdered cocoa, plain cocoa, nothing but cocoa, and either eggs or use an egg substitute that is made with maybe flax seed. There are lots of them on the market. You probably use them all the time.
Mhm.
baking soda, baking powder, I forget which is in there, um, vanilla, and cinnamon,
Yum.
which of course is wonderful for you, as well as just puts
Mhm.
a little edge in there. And there's your brownie. That's it. So you're eating
Yum.
vegetables, protein, good healthy oil. It's a meal. And I
Yum.
guarantee you, oh, and then on top, I take a sugar-free chocolate bar and melt it,
Mm.
and put a little bit of soy milk in it to make frosting.
You're
So
killing me, Lynn. You are killing me. Killing me. Where
Dave, that's what I'm doing.
That's true. This is true. What do you love most about your life right now?
Oh my God. I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you
Uh-oh.
that no, I have such a good life, Richard, and I want everybody. I'm trying to get myself in the frame here. I want everyone to have a good life. I'm healthy. I work out 4 times a week. I'm deadlifting 95 pounds
Oh my
now.
gosh.
I know. Uh, which when you're able at my age, because I'm looking at 80 for Pete's sake. And when you're able at this age to really use your body, dancing, climbing, rowing a boat, then you've got the freedom now. I have
Yeah.
freedom I never had in my life. I was always raising kids and doing stuff and making money and everything. And now I have I refer to it fondly as a Barbie dream farm um, on the coast of California, in the redwoods, right next to the redwoods, 4 miles from the beach. Hello.
Wow. Well,
I
then I'm not doing this on. I'm coming to you to film this next segment with you because that sounds more fun to me.
here. I have a guest house. I know how to use it.
Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
made up. Yeah. So,
I
and
love it.
I am enjoying playing with all of my Harriet housewife instincts that I could not enjoy earlier in my life because I was doing
Mhm.
big career things. And the joy of keeping a house, a pretty house, a welcoming house, a house with good food in it. I,
Mhm.
that's all I really wanted in life.
It's not a
Family.
bad gig if you can get it, right?
And it's hard, I understand.
Yeah.
It is hard to get. It was a struggle, and I watch my daughters now. One is getting another degree from Berkeley in real estate development, but and I that's great, and her
Mhm.
daughter is in college, and that's great, and my other daughter is a nurse practitioner and the mother of toddler and all that. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No kidding.
hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Where can people connect with you and follow you?
Go to my website, lynnebowman.com. Everything's on there, and from there you can look at my YouTubes
Okay.
and I hope you'll try my Audible book. I read it myself, so I put in snarky stuff and new things and so on. It's
I love
more
it.
than just the book.
Okay, good. Yes. I love a good audiobook. I
Sure.
love during my drives and my walks. That's when I read. And so I love audiobooks. So I'll pick that up as well.
To enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. The book is called Brownies for Breakfast. Lynne Bowman is the glam grandma, the snarky grandma, the amazing, all of the things, all of the good things. I appreciate you being here so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and let's do this again. And the
Right.
guest waits, Richard. Just let me know.
All right. I'm going to end this recording and go pack my bags, and we'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Bye.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
All right, we're back, everybody. And we have not heard from AJ yet. I know that he posted on his social media like 45 minutes ago that he was going to be on the show. So I hope everything's okay. We'll check in with him later. We've messaged him in a couple places. So AJ, when you're ready and we figure this out, come back on the show. On tomorrow's show, we are all new with former actress and current coach Michelle Ann Johnson, and the author of Keep It Up Cutie, Anna Percy, is here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching the show, and it's a good time to just share it right now. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.